So, a lot of people are looking to AI or artificial intelligence these days, many even for financial advice. Are you one of those, or have you at least thought about it? Well, I decided to ask 6 of the top AI platforms for some personal financial advice, just to see what they had to say. In this video, I'm breaking down the results, revealing some patterns, and calling out some curveballs. Plus, I'll give my personal take, as well as a little bonus takeaway. So, stay tuned, as I'm sure you'll find this all very enlightening. All right, if you're ready, let's head on into the Matrix. Hey everyone, this is AJ, your ace in the hole, and welcome to the channel where we simplify personal finance and provide tips for young adults and others just starting out. And sometimes we talk finance with a bunch of robots. So, recent surveys show that just over 1/3 of Americans are currently using AI for financial decisions, with millennials and Gen Z generations leading the charge at 40 to 60%. However, most still prefer some level of human oversight, only 17% fully trusting AI to act without any input. So where do you fall? Do you, or would you trust AI with your money? For this study, I looked at 6 of the top AI platforms: ChatGPT, Claude AI, Google Gemini, Grok AI, Meta AI, and Microsoft Copilot. I asked each, what are the top 10 personal finance recommendations for a young adult just starting out? I then ranked the top 5 consensus across the platforms. The results were pretty intriguing. What do you think? Do you think they all agreed? Or do you think they each had a completely different outcome? Before I jump into the final results, let's first look at a few of the unique themes and outliers, which is also pretty interesting. First up was Google Gemini and Meta AI, which were the only platforms that mentioned savings automation. By this, they are referring to things such as automated investing and paycheck transfers to ensure you pay yourself first and consistently. Next, Claude AI and Microsoft Copilot were the only 2 platforms that specifically mentioned the employer 401k match. Many human advisors feel that the 401k match should be a top priority for young adults. So pretty interesting that only 2 of 6 AI platforms prioritize or even mention this. Finally, the most interesting anomaly comes from Grok AI, which was the only AI platform to call out financial literacy. Financial education is an incredibly important part of personal financial success, and yet even today is still pretty absent from school curriculums and educational systems. Adding to this concern is that only 1 AI platform even gave it a mention. So those are a few of the obvious outliers between the platforms. This might start to provide a hint as to if they agree or if we're in store for a little AI bot battle. So get out the popcorn and let's dive into the top 5 results. So coming in at number 5 with 3 of 6 platforms ranking in their top 5 is credit management. This refers to responsibly building and managing personal credit. Good credit helps you qualify for things like apartments, car loans, and even job offers. Paying your bills on time, keeping credit card balances low, and checking your credit regularly keeps a strong credit score, helping you save money in the long run. At number 4, there's avoiding and paying down debt, with 4 of 6 platforms ranking. This one somewhat ties into number 5 in that if you're good with this, it helps ensure your credit management also remains solid. Debt with high interest, like credit cards, can trap you in a cycle of paying more in interest than you borrowed. If you do use credit, pay it off in full monthly. Avoiding high interest debt keeps your finances flexible and your stress levels low. You should always do what you can to stay out of debt, but if you must, make it a priority to pay it down as fast as possible. Number 3 is to start saving and investing early, also with 4 of 6 platforms ranking. The earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow, thanks to compounding interest. Even small amounts invested regularly can add up to big returns over time. Check out our previous video here on the power of compounding interest. This is a big one, so I'll link it below as well. Number 2 is to create and stick to a budget, with 5 of 6 platforms ranking in their top 5. Budgeting and tracking your spending is a must towards achieving financial success. A budget helps you keep up with where your money goes. It's about planning how much you'll spend, save, and use to pay off debt each month. And finally, any guesses what made number 1? The number 1 recommendation, unanimous across 6 out of the 6 platforms, is to establish an emergency fund. An emergency fund is money set aside for unexpected expenses like car repairs, medical bills, or job loss. It's suggested that at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses is set aside in a separate savings account. It's your financial safety net, so you don't have to rely on credit cards or other less optimal means when life throws you a curveball. The emergency fund is a common recommendation within the personal finance community, and apparently, even AI emphatically agrees. As a bonus, I also assessed if there were any commonality beyond the top 5, and there were a few common themes. First is the topic of setting financial goals. This is great advice, as you will always have a better chance of financial achievement if you set goals to achieve. Navigating blindly through life financially is never a good idea, so setting goals and being planful with your financial decisions is pivotal to your financial success. Next in line was investing in yourself, meaning in terms of expanding your personal skills and education, giving yourself options when it comes to job opportunities, and having a better understanding of how to navigate life's many challenges, especially when it comes to personal finance. Now, as I mentioned earlier, here's my take on the results, just to give a little human perspective. For starters, I do mostly agree with AI in terms of what was recommended as top-tier items. For example, everyone should certainly have some sort of emergency fund in place to help keep their other finances protected in the event of an urgent need. Also, keeping your credit in good standing is good advice, but I would add that paying off credit card bills monthly is crucial, and I would suggest making that its own topic. I also agree with some of the lesser ranked items, but might even rank some of those a little higher. For example, I might suggest participating in your company's 401k match should be a much higher priority. Also, one topic that was barely mentioned is recurring subscriptions, which really should get some more attention, as this is a top financial drain for many these days. In fact, here's that bonus I mentioned at the start of the video, which is a summary of all the suggestions from each platform. Feel free to pause and grab this, as it's loaded with lots of great recommendations, regardless of the ranking order. Now, I'm going to cut right to the chase. As far as my number one item, it does at least fall within the AI top 5, but I personally think it's the most crucial of all, and that is to start saving and investing early. This alone helps many of the other items fall into place much easier, killing two birds with one stone, as they say. Things such as creating an emergency fund, avoiding debt, and having the funds to invest in yourself all become easier if you start saving early. As a secondary call out, I have to agree with financial literacy, despite the disappointment that only one AI platform even brought it up. Becoming a student of personal finance is such a pivotal advantage. Most young adults simply avoid this or are just not aware of the level of impact it can have on their financial success. For instance, spending just a little time to understand things such as the power of compounding interest, savings and investment options, employer benefits, and tax advantages cannot be underestimated. In fact, check out our video here on tax brackets and how some basic knowledge can save you thousands in taxes. So, what do you think? Would you trust AI to provide financial advice? Or is this a big fat no? Personally, I feel AI provided some pretty good advice, and all the recommendations would be financially beneficial in practice. The key is to determine your own financial goals, and then choose which of these topics help you achieve those goals. So that said, while I don't think we're quite ready to hand AI the logins and passwords to all of our bank accounts, AI can be a very supportive tool when searching for suggestions that might help you achieve your financial goals. So, whether you follow AI or just trusting your gut, you should always do thorough research and educate yourself, especially when it comes to your personal finances, and even more so when just starting out. As the saying goes, measure twice, cut once. And with that said, hopefully you found this video informative. And if so, please give it a like and please share it with others that might be interested. And if you dig this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our previous videos, many of which relate to the topics in this video. So if you want to take a deeper dive into some of these, you can check them out here. And I really hope to see you in the next one. This is AJ, your ace in the hole. See ya!